official bestie. 6 months of the year has gone by, so now let's get into our mid-year book freakout tag. This is actually my first year participating in this tag, obviously, because this is my first year on booktube, so this is very exciting. Now we have very fun questions to get through, a lot of book options that I had to narrow it down but I picked a few books that I think will fit today's tag. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope maybe that you can find a book that you may want to read for the second half of the year through this book tag. So let's get to it. The first question of this book tag is the best book you've read so far in 2024. It's really hard to find because I have 12 5-star reads this year so far. I'm like, ooh, how do I narrow it down? But I finally narrowed it down and I picked one, and it is obviously the amazing Likelihood of You by Holly Jenks. I am obsessed with this book. Number one, obviously the cover. We just need a moment of silence for this beauty, really. Okay, and because of the characters and the writing, this is Holly's debut novel, which is amazing. I actually had the opportunity of reading this as an ARC, and then I obviously had to support my girl and buy a physical copy of the book. This book is so fall coded. If you love fall like me, read it, read it, read it. It's set in New York, fall in New York. Need I say more, really? You must know more about the book. We follow Florence. She has just found out that her ex-fiance now is sleeping with her older sister, and she is distraught by this, so she ends up moving to New York, and I should say she loves baking, like it's her thing. She finds this cute little bakery by her house. I'm pretty sure it's called the Rolling Pins, and can I just say how cute that name is? But she's obsessed. She loves their pastries, and she runs into our mailman character. Oh my god, this plane is so loud. Okay, she runs into our mailman character. His name is Jacob, and he is a celebrity. He's a movie star. He is just infatuated by her because she has no idea who he is, and he's like, oh, someone not knowing who I am, say less. He ends up getting her a job where he works, so in the movie industry, and they get to spend more time together, and we just slowly get to watch them fall in love, and it's just like the cutest book ever if you're in the mood for a lighthearted read. A lighthearted, romantic, New York fall book. Also our female main character is plus size, then this is the book for you. The second question in this tag is the best book sequel that I've read so far in 2024, and that obviously has to be Twisted Games by Haung. I love this series. Even though I haven't finished it, I still love it. This series is actually 4 standalone interconnected books, but it's the best experience is to read it within the series, so like the order that's supposed to be. So Twisted Love, Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, Twisted Lies. I just love this book so much. Like this is my top book so far of the whole Twisted series. But we follow Reese and I'll make the car go by. We follow Reese and Bridget. Princess Bridget is obviously a princess, and Reese is her new bodyguard, and they have to navigate how their new relationship works because Bridget has had the same bodyguard for most of her life, but he is on leave because his wife, I believe, is having a baby. I think that's the reason why he left. They hate each other in the beginning, so we know our classic enemies to lovers. It's also a forbidden romance. You know, we just love a good forbidden romance. Before I ramble too much about this book, because I already am, let's get into the next question. Please, 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 don't prove I'm right. It's just so good and so catchy. And Espresso, my song of the summer. Okay, my song of the summer. Question 3 is new releases I haven't read yet but want to. So I have 3 choices, 4 actually. We have Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. I actually got this book at a book signing, which is really exciting. If you want to know about that book signing, I have another video where I talked about that. I'll put that in the link down below. And How to End a Love Story, that also was a book signing. Actually, these both were at the same book signing. These 2 women, amazing. I am obsessed with sports romance. I haven't read a golf sports romance yet, so I'm like, yes, yes, please, Tessa Bailey, yes, yes. Also, first Tessa Bailey book, I'm really excited about that. And this is just like the beginning of this book starts off at a funeral, I believe. So it's very intriguing and totally should pick this book up if you've never heard of it, How to End a Love Story. This is her debut novel, but she is a screenwriter and director, and she's actually adapting Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation. So obviously we know this book is gonna hit. We know this book is gonna hit, and I'll probably update you guys. I'll probably do a reading vlog for both of these books. But the other two books that I don't have with me physically is Wild Love by Elsie Silver and Funny Story by Emily Henry. These two books I've been hearing so many good things about, and I'm like, yes, please. Unfortunately, with Elsie Silver, I haven't been able to get into the Chestnut series, so hopefully I'll actually be able to read that. But if not, we're just gonna start with Wild Love or another series that she has, and then eventually get into the Chestnut series. And then Emily Henry, I've never read an Emily Henry book yet, but I do have Happy Place by Emily Henry, so I think I'm gonna read Happy Place before I even read Funny Story. Fourth question is most anticipated release for the second half of 2024, and there's so many that's being released. We have Anna Haung's new sports romance, The Striker, I believe it's called. We have Hexed by Emily McClang, I think that's her name. I do not remember. It's like the 8th or 6th book of the Never After series. People are saying that it might be an Ursula retelling, and I'm like, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. An indie author's new release I'm really excited about that's coming out would be Love Not Required. It's the second book of the Lavish Love series. I loved Papers Don't Lie, so I'm just ready to dive back into that universe. Totally check out all those books that I've mentioned, especially Love Not Required. I think those are great indie author books that you can read and support if you want to get more into indie authors for the rest of 2024 or even in 2025. Number 5 is Biggest Surprise. Unfortunately, this book surprised me in a bad way, and we need to talk about it. And I know you all might hate me, but it's Six of Crows. I had to DNF Six of Crows at chapter 20. I just couldn't get into it. Like, I tried my best. I tried. It just, the pacing for me was so slow in the beginning, and then it kind of picked up, but I just wasn't invested enough to continue reading, so I had to DNF. My first DNF ever, like truly, which is like so weird to me. But I think I will try to pick this book up again maybe next year or later on in the year, because I do want to finish this book, and it's just maybe now is not the time for me, which is so upsetting because I know a lot of people love this book and this whole like world and series, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, I hate it. I don't hate it, okay? I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just dislike it strongly right now. So I'm sorry to all the Six of Crow lovers out there. I'm so sorry. Question number 6 is favorite new author, debut or new to you? And I have 2. Both of them are just new to me. Another card. The window's open because it's so hot here in Canada right now, but like I can't close it because if I close it, I'll melt. Like, you'll see me melting like Olaf in the summer before his little snow cloud. Anyways, the first author that is new to me this year is Lauren Asher. I love Lauren Asher so much. I love the Dreamland Billionaire series. I cannot wait to read Love Redesigned and Love Unwritten. Like, just her books are so good. I also need to finish the Dirty Air series. I've been putting that off, but I have a little surprise with that series and other series that I may mention. That's to come next week. Subscribe, stay tuned for that. I'm sure you'll love it. And the second author, obviously my girl Amy Award. I've read all 3 of her books so far, and I'm hooked, obsessed. All 3 of them consistent 5-star reads. Don't know how she does it, truly. Don't know how she does it, but she does it. And I eat it up every single time. Every time I see Amy Award. And new book, I'm here, like first in line to get it. Even though I don't have any of them physically, I have them on my Kindle. So don't even fret, they're there. I now just need to buy them in physical form so I can just look at them and stare at them because the cartoon covers are gorgeous. I could sit here and yap about those two for the rest of my life, but we cannot do that. We're gonna move on. Number 7 is newest fictional crush. And that's so hard. That's so hard. But I have to pick, and the person I pick is Griffin from Beyond the Break. I just recently read that, my most recent 5-star read. I just love that man so much. He's so gentle and kind, and even though he's been through so many hardships, especially with his injury, he's just like trying to navigate life after like everything, but he's also just like the sweetest human being ever, even though sometimes he can be pretty mean. But I just love him. Okay, I just like a little mean sometimes, you know? You can be nice, but if you want to be a little mean, I'm here for it, as long as like I'm not bawling out my eyes. I just love flawed characters. Another person I will say is a newer crush would be all the Kingsmen siblings so far that I have read about. They're all just the sweetest people ever. Literally, the sweetest people ever. I wish they were real, because actually I don't, because I didn't know who I would pick. And that's that. I can't have all of them. If I could, I would, but I can't. If only. But yes, so my newest fictional crushes are Kingsmen siblings so far, and Griffin from Beyond the Break, and you will know about him soon because he's gonna come up later in this video. Number 8 is books that made you cry, and I'm going to start out by saying there's no book that has made me full on sob or have tears running down my face, and I think I need to challenge myself for that because I've been reading too many happy-go-lucky books. I need something that will wreck my heart. If you have any recommendations, let me know down below so I can get my heart broken. I haven't had that happen in a long time, and I think it needs to happen. But a book that's made me like tear up, Canadian Boyfriend by Jennifer Holliday. Okay, maybe like, how is this sports romance between a former hockey player, single dad, and a former ballerina slash ballet dancer? Well, it kind of goes into a little bit of Aurora's like self-confidence, I guess you could say, and it just like struck me a lot. Okay, it hit me different. It hit me like a brick, not a brick, like a bunch of bricks were falling on me. Okay, and I couldn't keep my eyes dry. Okay, they kind of were wet, I will not lie, but this book is really good, and I totally recommend you check it out. Heartwarming, healing rom-com. I don't know if it healed me. Actually, kind of did. It did heal me, but like, yeah. Also, I just love it because it's called Canadian Boyfriend, and I'm Canadian, and so it resonated with me before I even picked up the book. 2 things already on this cover. I was like, Canadian and ballet. I never danced ballet, but I've been obsessed. So it fixed my fixation. It didn't actually, it made it worse, but if you must know, my favorite ballet company is the Royal Ballet, and my favorite ballet is Don Quixote. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. Number 9 is a book that made me happy. Obviously. The Inheritance Games. If you don't know, if you haven't been on this channel and this is your first time, I recently did a reading vlog, a 24-hour reading vlog challenge that I did not do successfully. But if you like those videos, I'll have that video also linked down below. But in that, I read this amazing book, and I love this book so much. It made me so happy, so giddy. I was like, oh yeah. I love Avery. Yeah. That's yeah. I wonder what Usher's doing after. I know he did the Super Bowl, but like, is he on tour or something? If you like Usher and you know what he's doing, let me know. I would like to know what he's doing. Anyways, back to this book that has nothing to do with Usher. This book had me happy, it had me intrigued, it had my brain working in ways I didn't even know it could work by trying to solve these riddles. And my brain probably did fry a little bit after reading this book because Those riddles I would have never guessed. Not even going to lie to you. But when I look at this cover now, which is gorgeous, I'm like, oh yeah, I understand every reference on this cover. I love when I get to read a book, close the book, look at the cover, and understand the full meaning of it, you know? It's just so good. It's so good. Go read this book if you haven't read this book. It's full of mystery. It's full of puzzles and plot twists. If that's your thing, this series is for you. Number 10 is the most beautiful book I've bought this year. Okay, I have two. I didn't buy the second one, but I need to mention it because it's gorgeous. Like the peacock that's on my TV right now. I would show you, but that's a lot of work. The most beautiful books that I've bought this year is number 1. Obviously, I mentioned it before, but I gotta mention it again because I cannot not mention this book. The Likelihood of You. As a fall girly, this just like ticks all the boxes, like even the side and the back. As I was saying about the cover for Inheritance Games, I closed this book and everything just clicked. Especially like this and the bench and the whole thing. I love it. I love when a book cover just makes so much sense after I read it. But I already said that before, so I'm just repeating myself. The second cover that I have been obsessed with recently is another book that we've mentioned, but we'll go into it. Beyond the Break, okay guys? Actually, there's two covers, the discreet cover and the cartoon cover. Tell me they are not the cutest things, the most beautiful things you've ever seen. Tell me they are not. Actually, don't, because I'll be heartbroken if you tell me they aren't, so don't do that. But these book covers are gorgeous, and the book itself is gorgeous. This book is a sports romance, which specifically surfing. Okay, I've never been more invested in surfing than I was while reading this book. Okay, I know nothing about surfing other than you're on a board, you're paddling, and there's a wave that you got to get through. Other than that, zip, zero, nothing, no knowledge of surfing. Another fun thing is the author lives in my city, and I love that so much. I need to meet her. If you're watching this, I love you so much. And the last question number 11 is, what books do you want to read by the end of the year? And that's such a loaded question. Like, you cannot ask me this and not expect me to yap for 20, 30 plus minutes. But I narrowed it down. 4 book series. Not even like individual books, series. Which I shouldn't be starting any series because I'm in the middle of like 30 plus maybe. Which, side note, I'm making a whole video series on that, so you should totally follow to see that. The first book series that I want to get into, and the only book series that I have a physical copy of, is the Boys of Tommen? Hopefully that's how you say it. The Boys of Tommen series, okay? Binding 13, all of Chloe Welsh's books. I need to read it. Everyone's been saying how good it is, and I'm like, yeah, I need it. I just haven't gotten to it yet because I kind of fear the books because everyone's like, it's so beautiful, I love this book, while their face is full of tears. And I actually don't know if I'm ready for that heartbreak. I know I just said like 20 seconds ago that I'm ready for heartbreak, but I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of heartbreak. So we are putting off reading this, but I hope in the second half of 2024 we get to read this series. Love it. I love the cover. I actually kind of like the other cover more, even though that book is a brick. I'm like, oof, this small writing. My eyeballs. So we'll see, but I do love this cover though. And the thing I love about these book covers is the spine. Like, all the spines fit together, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes so much sense to me. Like, all spines should be like connected if they're a series. I digress. The second series is the Magnolia Park series, and another book that will break my heart, I know. I know, but like, come on. The only reason I don't have that book physically is because I need a copy of the shoes cover. I need those. Like, I know some of you might think that's weird, but I just need it. I need it. But I've heard such great things about the series. Everyone's heart's breaking for the series, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I do actually need a heartbreak. Maybe, just not now. I mentioned this one earlier, is the Chestnut series by Elsie Silver. I have a love-hate relationship with the first book. I just can't get through it. I've tried so many times this past 6 months to get through it. I haven't yet. So hopefully, maybe if I read another Elsie Silver book series, I can't get myself to read it, which is so sad. Anyways, I digress. The last thing or book slash series, I guess, is Blackbird and Butcher. I need me more dark romance. I haven't read a good dark romance book in a hot minute, and I need to because I miss it. I miss so much. Last book that I read that is kind of similar to Butcher and Blackbird was Sinner's Duet by Sophia Lark, and that was a long time ago. That was when I first started getting into reading again, so I need some good vibes like that in my life again. Is that like a toxic thing? Like, is that a red flag to like want to read a book like that? I absolutely love this book tag so much. I will now be doing it every year that I'm on this platform, which will be forever. You guys are not getting rid of me anytime soon. I will be here forever and ever and ever. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video kind of inspired you to read some of these books that I mentioned. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making this video. And I hope you really liked it. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, I hope you really liked this video, and I hope I make you feel safe and wanting to stay more and wanting to subscribe. But other than that, I hope to see you soon, or tomorrow, or whenever you feel like watching another video of mine. I love you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever you're watching this. Bye, lovelies. Audio Jungle.